Hey, it's the 8th anniversary of the release of Season 0. 8 years, guys. I feel old just saying that. And I gotta say, it's been a much slower ride to the top than I expected. Or rather, a slower ride to a point where you could start to see the possibility of reaching the top one day. But as I say in the intro, it's all about 7 seasons in a movie or finding the power of friendship along the way. And I have sure as hell found a lot of wonderful people in my time with 7th V. So let's get into a special episode of TABTA this week. But first, as always, a message to our heroes. Hey there, this is Colin, creator of the 7th Valkyrie. If you're hearing this, it means you're listening to the public version of TABTA. And I really appreciate that. It keeps the algorithm happy. It keeps us growing. But if you want to get a little fun personal message every week with behind-the-scenes stories, funny little bits, other insight into the creative process, you can hop over to our Patreon and become a hero of Edera. You'll support the series, you can shape the future of the 7th Valkyrie, and find a whole lot of fun bonus content along the way. You can get started completely for free, and then if you decide you want to chip in and get bonus content, early access, and a whole lot more and help us along the path of heroes towards a whole lot of cool checkpoints, then you can do that. It's patreon.com/7th Valkyrie, that's 7THVALKYRIE, and give it a look. With that, on into the show. Hey, everybody, and welcome to TABTA, the adventure behind the adventure for the 7th Valkyrie, where we watch one series go from total obscurity to maybe 7 seasons in a movie, or maybe we just find the power of friendship along the way. I'm your host, Colin Sharp, creator and current voice of the 7th Valkyrie, and it is great to have you listening. Like I said in the intro, this week marks 8 years since the release of A Fallen Star, which at that point wasn't even Season 0, I was calling it Volume 0, which is a decision that I would have regretted forever, having to explain that the first season is actually called Season 0, but honestly, I needed a prologue season. I needed a time to kind of figure out how to actually do this job and deliver this product, which is an awesome piece of art, not just a product, and give the time for the full seasons, full 7 seasons that I've got to come to strut their stuff. Anyway, but I'll get into the reminiscing in a little bit. In the meantime, let's cover the week first in 7th V content. So, obviously, TABTA coming out today, another one next week. On Wednesday, we have the reimaginings of Season 0, Chapter 6, Footprints in the Snow, Part 1, dropping for everyone. Heroes, you guys got this already. It was split up into 2 parts with the original release, so I'll be doing the same with the listen-alongs because they're both meaty chapters, like half an hour or more, so I don't feel bad about only giving a week to each of them. And then on Friday, we will have the accompanying episode of the 7th V Listen Along, where we'll be breaking down kind of the changes and updates to this completely transformed version of the chapter and taking a look at the series as we make our way towards Season 3. So that's what you've got coming up this week if you're a public listener. And again, heroes, you guys have got that ahead of schedule. Quick stop over into 7th V production and business. Just finalized the last chapters of the Season 0 reimagining. So working on getting the listen-alongs together for that. And also just sent over to Big Z, the first reimagined kind of original raw chapters from Season 1. So he's going to get working on those. That's going on in production. As for what's going on with me, well, I told the heroes about this, so I won't dwell on it too much, but my partner's here. We're living it up as much as we can while the world around us and around everyone else goes totally bonkers. Just, trying to build a life together across multiple countries during incredible international turmoil, yeah, rocking it. Anyway, I'll keep that part short for now. Maybe there's enough pieces to talk about it in a future episode. But right now we have the Q&A to get through, and this one came from Hero Dave, who also happens to be my father. And for the anniversary, he suggested that I trace the timeline from the first anniversary on to now. And I'll keep it short. So on November 7th, 2017, I was still in college. I dropped volume 0 on my website with no promotion, no idea how to build an audience, just out there. And I was like, I will be a billionaire by 2021. I was confident, but not informed. By November 7th, 2018, I'd graduated from college, gotten a job in Costa Rica, and was deep into writing a slanted reflection while also figuring out what life would be like in this crazy new country. By November 7th, 2019, I had figured it out. I was desperate to leave my job and was finishing up the season because I was trying to escape from work. And I was seeking at the same time a new way to take the business up to the next level and hadn't quite figured it out. By November 7th, 2020, a year later, I had released season 1, which was now called a season, and had tried a ton of different iterations of how the series was coming out. By November 7th, 2021, I was looking into editors and support to make season 2 as good as possible, which is what you guys are experiencing. By 2022, I had just started seeing my current partner, and I was living it up as hard as I could. Then immediately after a company that I'd helped grow got purchased, I was fired, and so then was living it up way less. A year later, by November 7th, 2023, I'd gotten my feet underneath me, and season 2 was in the works to be launched and starting in January of 2024. It was. By November 7th, 2024, our 7th anniversary, we were deep into season 2, and I had discovered the power of AI art to help kind of bring the series to life. Still keeping an eye out for when we have enough money to hire actual artists, because we like hiring people, not machines. Anyway, and I speak to you today not long after November 7th, 2025, with season 2 complete, the old chapters getting a much-needed upgrade, and I'm deep into writing season 3. So hoping that the time between writing volumes and releasing them gets smaller and smaller as I get better at this shit. But I thank you all for being a part of this journey, and for a pretty significant part of my life, too. Here's to many more anniversaries I can celebrate with you guys, but hopefully not too many more before we can all share the series. So thanks for asking, Hero Day. I really appreciate you. Anyway, on into the wrap-up. Anyway, if you've got a question for me that you'd like to hear answered, leave a comment and I'll check before next week. And in the meantime, stay tuned for our upcoming releases, Wednesday and Friday for the public, with the Hero versions already available. And I'll be sending you all lots of love. Ciao.